This is a free download from the BBC. For more information, go to bbc.co.uk/podcasts.
Hi, sweet cheeks. Stop looking at me like that. My mum's listening. No, she don't know I do this. She thinks I've got a job in Boots. Doing the stringing up the eyebrows. She thinks I do it. What I don't like about those eyebrow stringers, why have they got the one end of the string in the teeth? That is disgusting.
What eyebrow stringers?
It's not called stringing. It's called
Swinging?
Threading.
Threading.
Yeah, the eyebrow threading. Why have they got one end in their mouth? That's unhygienic. This is 5 days of cracking radio crammed into an hour, about an hour. Sometimes a bit less, sometimes a bit more. It depends.
A bit more this week. Loads in
Have
there.
you got loads in it?
Yeah,
Oh,
mate.
beautiful.
We've had some really good callers, thank goodness.
Because the hosting has been very poor. There's no room for rubbish, just exciting, brilliant content. Sorry, I was given someone else's podcast script. In this podcast, there's loads of room for rubbish. I should read this before. You should make me read this before,
Can
so
you
it's
read
your
the
fault.
rest before?
No.
I'd be rich.
The best thing about that song, and I've heard that song like millions of times, Kelly Betts had never heard that, and I'm watching you chuckling away.
It's funny for all kinds of reasons.
And she's actually describing herself there.
Yeah.
Isn't that... Good morning, guys. Kelly, it's so great to have you back.
Thank you, player.
There we go. Catherine Boyle,
Yes,
you're
it's
still
me.
back.
Yeah.
Wowzers.
I can't be unback.
You can't be unback. Unback Boyle is what I'm saying. It's a retrospective anti-Boyle campaign I'm running, much in the way that loads of Labour MPs are doing with Jeremy Corbyn now.
Yeah.
Oh, Tucker and Moon, I'm not playing anymore. Good, we never liked you anyway, you smarmy git. I never liked Chuckaramuna. Too many K's and U's in his name. Got a thing against K's and U's.
I've got a K. It's quite important.
Have you got one? That's enough.
So
He's
do
got-
I.
Okay, I think he may only have one, actually. What the hell? Chuckaramuna's... He even lies to me about the number of K's in his name. I'm glad that guy's gone. Anyway, let's do this.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
Chuckaramuna.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
He's got 2 K's. He's got 2 K's.
It's one too many.
2 K's. 3 U's. Any other multiple letters?
I haven't got one U. He's using all my U's.
Yeah, no, I've got no use either.
Chuckaramuna.
I've got a Z
Where?
in the middle of my middle name.
Catherine.
Catherine.
High five.
High 5.
No, my middle name.
What's your middle name?
Elizabeth.
Oz.
Elizabeth.
Luz. Asinine.
Elizabeth.
Azerbaijan! Oh, we'll have the Alphabet of Nations will be the next song.
It's Elizabeth.
Here we go. Care homes scolded for calling residents love. Oh, guys, come on. I mean, that's just
I
outrageous.
bet the residents use worse language.
Well, they do, because quite often these places are staffed
racist.
by foreigners. Yeah, so they do. I know. A care home has been criticised by inspectors. Please let it be local. Please let it be local. Please let it be local. After employees used affectionate terms such as love and sweetie to address residents. Staff who look... I don't like sweetie. I like love.
Sweetie is a tiny child, isn't it?
No, it's a...
I know, but Sweetie is very,
Staff-
very cutesy, isn't it?
who look after... a spokesman said the language was meant to be friendly, but it could be regarded as demeaning and patronising.
Well, it depends how it's said, isn't it?
Shut up, sweetie!
Yeah. Get out of the way, love. Or here's your dinner, love.
But they'll probably be saying, have you had a wee-wee? I mean, they will be talking like that anyway.
Nana done a plopsy.
That's terrible.
Oh, you don't say that to her. You say it out. You say in the staff room, "Oh, Nana did a terrible plopsy," but not as you're undressing her. You don't go, "Oh, that's terrible, Nana. Naughty, Nana. No, Nana, naughty."
I love the fact that you think all carers call their residents Nana and Grandad. Hello, Nana.
There's no one. I would like to know more about this story. Not today, but I don't believe it. I don't believe they've. I don't
They've been
believe
told
that-
off for it. No, because
I
I think
don't
it's
believe the
probably widespread.
CQC has picked up this care home in Harrogate, North Yorkshire.
Oh, and everyone's loved there. Although Harrogate's quite posh.
The CQC has certain guidelines they want people to follow, but at our next inspection we won't be changing these terms of endearment, and we will discuss it with the inspectors and show them this is what our residents want. Oh, well, hang on. Here's, as always with these stories, do read to the last two paragraphs. The inspectors who visited in March also found the home needed to improve the residents' privacy. Right, there you go.
Well, if they're getting them changed in front of everybody, that's something else.
There we go, you see. 03459 455 555, down the rabbit hole. What's this? Ouch! It's a rock star hurting himself.
What's this? Ring, 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 ring. Hello? It's you calling in about it.
My camera never lies anymore, 'cause there's nothing worth lying for. My camera never lies, my camera never lies. Who's that? Come on.
It's Bucks Fizz, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Bucks Fizz. It's Bucks Fizz.
Bucks Fizz.
It's Bucks Fizz. Oh, look, show Baker let herself go on it.
Oh, no.
Oh, and that coach crash. Oh, terrible. What a tragedy, I know, but they came back from it. It was great stuff.
Them and Gloria Estefan.
Well, OK, we can do that.
I remember that.
We can do that. Rock stars who've suffered severe injuries, and yes, I'm including Bucks Fizz as rock stars. So, let's draw up the list.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Let's draw up the list of the most dangerous rock and roll acts in the world. At the top so far, it's Bucks Fizz.
And Estefan.
Well, Bucks Fizz first. You're obsessed with Estefan.
I loved Estefan.
Bucks Fizz,
I wasn't allowed a perm because of Estefan.
Were touring the United Kingdom, the British Isles, and they were in a coach, and I think it came off the road, and they were severely injured. One of them had serious brain damage, I think.
Really?
I think so. Hard to tell. I think they did. I think that, no, it did, because he had, because one of them didn't...
Is that Bobby G?
Did one of them die?
No, I don't think so.
One of them had really bad brain injuries and recovered
Kelly,
enough...
will you ask Jeeves?
Yeah.
He recovered enough to perform with them again for a bit, I think. But I might be wrong. I remember seeing him on TV, he had slurred speech.
Oh, gosh.
So Bucks Fizz, coach crash.
1984 it was.
Thank you.
The video evidence.
31 years ago, this very...
I was 7.
We're nearly killed.
I was 11. OK. Estefan, you mentioned Gloria Estefan from the Miami Sound Machine.
Yeah.
What was her injury?
She was also in a coach crash. She did a neck in. I think she broke her back or something.
Was it? She had to have a metal rod in her back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have seriously affected her shimmy.
But she came back from that.
She did.
Going back to Bucks Fizz.
Yes, Bucks
Mike
Fizz.
Bucks Fizz.
Nolan.
Yep.
3 days later, after the coach accident, he nearly died.
Yep.
But then he didn't. But he was left half blind with epilepsy.
Oh, blimey.
And he still needs daily medication.
He's still alive, though, is he?
Yeah, he's like
Good for
58,
him.
something.
Good for him. I used to like
Lives
Bucks
in
Fizz.
Kent.
I like Bucks Fizz. I like Land of Make Believe.
The land. Oh,
Of
Jay
Make-
Aston in that video is the sexiest creature ever to walk this earth. You women should all bow down and kiss her feet. Could you do that for me?
What, while you watch? Not again.
OK. Bob Dylan, motorbike.
Have you put Estefan down?
Yes, coach crash. I just put the marks to say that this is the names above. Dylan, coach crash. No, motorbike crash. Mm-hmm. Scott is reminding me, Rick Allen, Def Leppard.
Oh, yeah.
Did he lose? He lost one arm.
One arm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have you seen the best film ever? Is Hysteria, the Def Leppard story. Have you seen it?
Strangely not, didn't talk to me, that
Mate,
title.
No, honestly, I'm going to buy it for you. It's brilliant. It's an American biopic of a band from Sheffield, right?
Yeah.
And there's bits where they're in the pub in Sheffield and they're all talking like that.
Why?
Because none of it can do an English accent. And then there's a bit where the accident happens with Rick Allen, where he's driving along the M25. Now, I've been on the M25. I don't remember it being in the middle of a desert with cacti. And then he's in bed. He's in a hospital bed, right? And he's lost his arm, and it's sad. And he's reading an aeroplane magazine, and he's going... No, he's not. He's in bed, and he's going, oh, I wish I could play the drums again. Hang on a minute. I've got an idea. Cut to scene where he's built a drum kit with loads of pedals and he's operating it in the hospital. It's honestly...
In the hospital?
Yes. All right, that's your next birthday. When's your birthday?
August.
Oh, you've got a good 11 months to anticipate getting Hysteria, the Def Leppard story. Chris the Trucker.
Hello, my friend. How are you?
We're friends now, are we, Chris?
Pardon?
What have you got for us?
Well, if you're talking about rock stars that had accidents.
Well, no, we're talking about the most dangerous rock stars in the world. The world's most deadliest rock stars.
Yeah, are you including ones that have actually died as well?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, you got Buddy Holly, Ricky Valens, and the Big Bopper. All
Ladies and gentlemen, the holy trinity of rock. Yes, we'll have that.
and
Yeah, of
roll
course.
legends.
Very. These all basically I'm learning so far, Chris, is if you are a rock star, don't go anywhere near an automotive vehicle.
It's about right at all, isn't it?
I wonder it. Hang on, right? You're any rock stars injured in a truck stop blowaway? Has anything happened? To
What? A truck stop blowaway?
I don't know where that was going.
I don't think.
Don't pull me up on my truck stop blowaway. Have any?
What do you know about that?
Have any rock stars been injured in a truck?
Not as far as I know.
Could you ask around?
I will do for you.
Thank you very much indeed, Chris. You ask the trucking community, maybe on the old
They'll know.
the Citizens Band, the CB as I like to shorten it. Oh, hey, there's a new show happening. It involves my voice and this voice.
Yeah, this one.
Here's-
Mine. Shh.
You're not even
my
in
turn, isn't it?
This is October the 3rd. You're not even here for the second show, October the 10th.
No, I'll be going out getting legless.
It's going to be very 10th.
Oh.
May the 4th be with you. What other funny dates are there? So it's got October the 10th, 2:30.
Clock day.
Oh. Here's all the info you could ever need. Well, Ross, that's XTC and Mayor of Simpleton from their classic late 80s album, Oranges and Lemons. It really is... So me and Catherine...
Who's Ross?
He's on Twitter. He says, I like this song.
Hello,
What is
Ross.
it? So me and Catherine, from October the 3rd... Justin's got his own announcement, and we're not treading on Justin's toes, okay? I think he announced this weekend that he was stopping doing the Saturday show 12 till 2, okay? He's said that's out there, that's fine. If he wants to say anything else, that's up to him, not up to me. But me and Catherine are having that slot. 12 till 2 from Saturday, October the 3rd, down the rabbit hole with Iain and Kath. Or Kath and Iain, we're not precious.
Don't mind.
We're coming up with a name for the Facebook page that we've started, but we can't think of how to label it. Anyway.
We can think of a lot of rude ones, but we don't want to put that on
All
there.
the Facebook.com/down the rabbit hole, it's the rabbit hole, they've all gone. So we're kind of a bit scuppered there.
Hole?
Sorry?
Hole?
I'll try
I
it.
bet Hole's gone. Hole's are very popular
I
on
bet
Facebook.
Courtney Love has done it, hasn't she? I bet she's done
It's
it.
probably Courtney Loves Hole.
What a
Is that
not.
the breakaway? Are they all original now?
Anyway, so it's happening on October the 3rd. But then for the next October the 10th, you're not turning up.
No, I'm on a hen
The
all weekend.
second show.
All weekend.
You can phone me up if you want. I can't tell you what will happen.
I'm not going to do that.
Good.
Anyway, we don't know what the show's going to be. It's going to evolve on air. So let's see if Facebook.
Like us.
Whole, it has to be at least 5 characters long. So whole
Oh,
is
hole?
what?
Maybe no, nothing.
So-
Nothing.
Oh, it's weak ankles. It's weak ankles.
Oh, that's lovely.
That's absolutely. If anyone's got any, hang on.
Hey, ya.
I like hearing songs in the original format.
Yeah, I do.
This was recorded at my grandparents had a party at the weekend, and I snuck in my tape recorder. Grandad got the piano out.
Hey, all right now,
There he is.
fellas. Now, what's cooler than being cool?
Granddad, shut up!
It's a very rude song, this.
Just sat there recording it.
What's cooler than
Rude,
being cool?
He was so drunk at this stage.
Okay. All right now, ladies.
It's me, Nan.
I'm gonna break this thing down in just a few seconds. But don't have me break this thing down
Down for nothing.
I want to see you all.
On your best behaviour.
On your baddest beat.
Granddad, he's turning it round! Don't tell him I'm playing this, he'll kill me. I'll get him in one day.
I am your neighbor. Here we go.
She's shaking, she's shaking, she's shaking, she's shaking.
That was my weekend. That was yours, suckers.
I heard that he shook it so hard he had to go to hospital.
Anyway, basically, the Saturday show is going to sound like 2 hours of that.
Excellent.
Pretty much. It's going to be fun. No podcast, and it's going to be completely separate from this, but we're calling it Down the Rabbit Hole, so it's not completely. But there'll be no podcast.
It's a good name. We couldn't think of anything else.
Couldn't think of anything else.
I have a question.
Hello, Kelly Betts.
What if you do have really good bits in there that you want in the podcast? Not allowed.
No, not allowed. Not allowed. I've decided.
Secret bits.
And they won't let us have a separate podcast. We're only allowed one podcast. I mean, if someone were to... The thing about the internet, right, is piracy is rife. And so there is a very strong chance that someone might podcast it illegally. I do not condone that.
On the iPlayer, you can now download shows.
You can download shows,
so
can't you?
Could be its own
it could be from there.
Yeah.
Again, but someone might
Billy
just
Bootleg might get hold of it.
Billy Bootleg might put it on a website.
And if you do something really funny, you can just do it again during the week.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll be nicking stuff. Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, feisty bit coming up. The Conservatives believe Jeremy Corbyn is a threat to national security, the economy, and your family. That's true. They do. The Conservative MP for South West Hertfordshire, David Gawke, tweeted, "What have Labour endorsed today? Higher taxes, no welfare reform, scrapping the market economy, weak defences and condoning terrorists." So I had a chat with him. It gets beefy.
Quotes in the newspapers today from Jeremy Corbyn some years ago saying he'd like to abolish the army.
Come on now, David. Listen, I'm sorry, you're not. Come on now, this nonsense. Have you got the full quote? Because we know what the newspapers like to do. They like to take one line of a quote from Jeremy Corbyn, don't they? So let's have the full quote. And what year did he say it, please?
Well, as I said, he said it some years ago.
How many years ago? And let's have the full quote. If you're going to quote him, let's have the full quote in context, because you know that a lot of these quotes have just been snipped to make them sound dangerous when actually they're not.
Well, they are dangerous. He's making an argument. He was praising a country for not having an army, if I recall correctly. The point is that the beliefs that Jeremy Corbyn has as leader of the Labour Party, as one of the two people who can become Prime Minister after a general election.
Okay, well, tell us some. Let's stop the personal attacks. Let's stop the personal attacks. Tell us some of the policies. Tell us some of the policies that are dangerous.
Well, for example, his refusal to get to grips with the deficit, his belief that you can pursue what he describes as people's quantitative easing, but that means essentially printing money, the approach that Robert Mugabe took in Zimbabwe, that even his own advisor says could cause a sterling crisis.
Can I give you... I'm going to stop you. I've got his army quote.
Yep.
Would you like to hear it?
Yes, go ahead if you like.
I don't think you do, because it shows the knee-jerk bitterness from within some elements of the Labour Party and certainly from the Conservative Party. Let me read the full thing. I've got a little thing here. During a House of Commons debate in 1999, the Islington North MP proposed letting people opt out of giving tax revenue to the army. Quotes, "What policy is adopted by his department in respect of taxpayers who do not wish to pay certain elements of taxation on grounds of conscience?" he asked Treasury ministers. Mr Corbyn continued, "British taxpayers have a right of conscience not to participate in the armed forces in time of conscription and should have a similar right in time of peace to ensure that part of their tax goes to peace, not war." What part of that, that's from the Telegraph, what part of that is him saying he's going to scrap the army?
I wasn't talking about that quote. I'm talking about the quote that's on the front page of The Sun. Have you got that?
Well, no, there isn't a quote on the front page. There isn't a quote on the front page. David, there isn't a quote on the front page of The Sun.
All right. Well, the full quote is there. That's the reference I was
Corbyn,
making.
What you're referring? No. This is important. This is important.
That one.
This is important. David, this is important.
Paying tax to pay for the defence.
This is important. This is important because you're spreading lies. Okay. The front page.
I'm sorry, I resent that.
Well, you said the quote on the front.
I'm talking about The Sun. What the story that The Sun is running? Have you got that quotation?
Well, you tell me where the quote is because you've obviously read it.
Yeah, I've read it. It was on Twitter last night. If you've got that quotation,
David, if you're getting your news from Twitter, may I suggest you need to look a little bit harder? Can you tell me the quote? Where's the quote in The Sun that you claim to have read?
The quotation concludes with him saying that he would like to. He was praising a country for not spending money on the military.
You tell me?
Ideally, he would like to get rid of the army altogether.
Can you tell me where that quote is?
Well, I don't have it in front of me.
Well, then, sir, can I suggest you've cited a source for a quote that you haven't actually read?
Yeah, I have read the full quote.
Well, then where is it? You've told me to look at The Sun. The front page of The Sun is Corbyn abolished the army. That's not a quote. That's a headline.
Well,
Where's the quote?
Have you read the whole Sun story?
You tell me where it is. You've cited it. Where?
It's in the. The Sun has got the quotation. Have a look at that.
Speaking 3 years ago. No. I'm not letting any of you lot get away with this on either side. You can't come in with these nasty digs that are untrue. Let's read the whole story. Corbyn abolished the army. Labour's new leader, Jeremy Corbyn, wishes Britain would abolish its army. The veteran lefty's radical view will stun our brave soldiers. Mr Corbyn, 66, believes Britain and other countries should follow Caribbean outpost Costa Rica by scrapping armed forces. Speaking 3 years ago, he said it would be a wonderful move to help world peace. I've still not seen the quote where he says it. And I still can't find the quote where he says it.
That's the story that I'm talking about, not the...
But there isn't a quote.
The opting out of paying...
But there isn't a quote, sir.
Taxes.
There isn't a quote, sir.
Well, there certainly is a quote. If it's not covered in the Sun front page that you've got, there is a quotation that I've seen.
Where, sir? Can you tell me where the quote is? You can't cite a quote and then not quote it.
Well, he praises Costa Rica and the fact that they don't spend money on an army, and he says it would be wonderful if we could do the same. Now, that's the essence of the argument. Now, it doesn't seem to me to be very practical. We can have an argument about locating the quote, but I mean, a couple of minutes on Google, I think anyone can find it. Costa Rica, Jeremy Corbyn, army.
Okay, how is he dangerous to my family? This is another thing that's been trotted out this weekend. Why is my family at risk because of Jeremy Corbyn?
Because the economic policies that he would pursue, were he to become Prime Minister, would put the recovery, well, not just at risk, but I mean, undoubtedly result in our economy crashing. That would have an impact on all of us, on families up and down the country, because, essentially he wants to abandon any economic progress that we have made in the last 30 years. He wants to abandon the market economy. John McDonnell, his new Shadow Chancellor, describes his amongst his sort of hobbies and activities, fomenting the overthrow of capitalism. That would put families up and down the country,
in your opinion,
at risk. In my opinion,
you go to Jeremy Corbyn.
An awful lot of Labour people as well.
Well, but they voted. They voted them in. In Europe, you go to jeremycorbyn.org.uk. The first thing it says on the homepage is Jeremy Corbyn prioritising the needs of the poor and the human rights of all. That doesn't strike me with terror. That sounds quite nice.
No, I don't disagree with that. But in practice, the policies that Jeremy Corbyn would pursue,
which ones
would hit well?
The £10 minimum wage, would that jeopardise my family?
If you set the minimum wage too high, you result in higher unemployment. So
is £10 too high?
A judgment that has to be... Well,
is £10 too high? It's easy for us to say that £10 is too high. I earn a lot of money. I'm guessing you do as well. So it's easy for us to say that £10 as a minimum wage is too high. Could you live on £10 an hour?
Well, the judgment has to be made when it...
Could you live on £10 an hour or less?
Can I just make this point? As a government, we're introducing the national living wage. So we're increasing...
Could you live on £10 an hour?
A higher rate? Well, it would be. I accept it would be. It's a real challenge. The point I'm making is that you
couldn't. I couldn't.
Well, the point is that if you why not set it 20? Why not 30? Why not 40?
Because he's worked out that 10 is manageable. What about charging bigger businesses slightly more tax?
Question of judgment. Well,
charging bigger businesses slightly more tax. What's wrong with that?
That you end up with less investment in the UK, you don't get growth in the UK, you don't create jobs in the UK. Actually, a competitive tax system for business is important.
But it's not competitive, it's very one-sided. I pay a higher percentage of tax than Starbucks. Well, that ain't fair, is it? Come on, that's not fair.
Well, you've got to remember, all taxes are paid by people in the end. Ultimately, it's not. Companies might write the checks, but it's always going to be paid either by the shareholders or the employees or the customers.
What's wrong with charging bigger? What's wrong with charging big companies a little bit more tax? Why is that such an evil, dangerous thing?
Well, what we've done is reduce corporation tax. That's actually resulting in more investment in the UK. It's creating more wealth, and that's wealth that goes through to people. You've got to create wealth in the first place.
Well, in that case, then if Starbucks, if we're not going to charge Starbucks more tax, then for goodness sakes, let's get them to pay a £10 minimum wage. You see, you see how that could help. Well, that would be dangerous to my family.
We're part of the government that's actually increasing the minimum wage, bringing in a national living wage.
And is the living wage going to be compulsory?
Yes. Yeah.
It's going to be compulsory.
It
Well,
is.
then, so you're agreeing with Corbyn then? That's great.
Well, it's a question of setting the rate. I'm not particularly highlighting the £10 minimum wage. I think there's a balance that has to be struck so that you don't have higher unemployment. But the point I would make is, overall, you look at his policy on people's quantitative easing, if you look at his failure to deal with welfare
You
reform,
lot did quantitative easing, didn't you?
Yeah,
So it was
but
all right
we
when you did it, but now he's suggesting it's not all right. Why
No,
the
we
difference?
did it's done in particular circumstances to get the economy moving. What he's talking about is doing it all the time to pay for public services. Now that's very risky, because if you just do that to rely on paying for public services, you run the risk of inflation. And I think pretty well every mainstream economist has made that point.
Final point. My friend runs a T-shirt shop in Uxbridge. Doesn't take much. It's a T-shirt shop in Uxbridge. He's just messaged me. He paid more corporation tax in 2013 than Vodafone. Is that fair?
Well, I don't know the sort of particular
Is that fair?
circumstances. Well, the point I would make, look, we have a...
Is that fair?
Well, I don't know whether that's right or not.
It's true. Is that fair?
Well, the situation is with corporation
Is that fair?
tax. Sorry, can I just make this
Well,
point?
could you answer the question I'm asking? Is that fair that a T-shirt printers in Uxbridge paid more corporation tax than Vodafone? Is that fair?
As a government, we are changing the international rules. We are strengthening HMRC in dealing with corporation tax. But you have to remember that, for example, if you've made losses in previous years, you can use those to write off profits in a subsequent year. So I'm not going to get drawn into individual companies because they're quite complex
fair?
rules.
Really simple question, and really simple question. I take on board what you've just said. A small T-shirt shop in Uxbridge pays more corporation tax than Vodafone. Is that fair? Yes or no?
It's a simple question, but it's a misleading question. And I'm
Which
not going
bit's
to get drawn
misleading?
into well, because of the complexity of the rules is that you have things like losses, and you don't. It's not a turnover tax; it's a profit tax. If there's a year where you haven't made profits, you don't pay corporation tax. But what I would say is important, and
Vodafone
what would
versus
be
a
unfair if
T-shirt
we
shop in
didn't do this,
Uxbridge.
If we didn't do this, is that we've got to make sure that the rules by which companies pay tax reflect where the economic activity occurs, and sometimes those rules have not been fair. So I'm not going to get drawn into individual.
Can I tell you one? Can I tell you one thing?
We really think it's important that the big companies pay more in tax under the rules, but it's important that those rules are applied.
One final thought to leave you with. Again, I don't know if Corbyn's going to be any good or not, but I tell you the thing that, having spoken to people on this show, the thing they like about Corbyn is he would have answered that question.
Yeah, there are a lot of questions Jeremy Corbyn is not answering as well at the moment.
I've not heard him dodge a question yet or go on message. And what I'm hearing the last couple of days is a lot of people on message. And this is just from having spoken to people here. People are really bored of it.
Yeah, I make the point is sometimes there are some questions which are don't lend themselves to simple answers because they're complex issues. But what I'd say is, on questions as to, does Jeremy Corbyn, back our army? I'd like to hear a straight answer to that. Will Jeremy Corbyn ensure that we don't see inflation running in this country?
We're back on message. We're back on message, David.
They're important points here.
Well,
really
I've just asked you an important point. David, I've just asked you a really important question and you've dodged it and you've gone back on message, and I think people are really tired of that from both sides. Merry Christmas, everyone. May yours be full of love, laughter and beer. We began.
No. Began.
Celebrating it this week after getting a Christmas card.
Oh, Christmas is really fantastic. It's my favourite day. The giving and receiving of gifts. I just wouldn't have it any other way. Oh, Christmas is really fantastic.
Come on, this is the Chris. Forget your Phil Spectors. In our house, this bad boy gets out.
Except when there isn't any snow.
Ho, 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 he. The world is just like one great big gigantic Christmas tree. Oh, yeah. Hey, bear with me 1 second, indulge me.
'Cause Christmas is fantastic in the morning.
Yes.
And Christmas is fantastic in the evening.
But Christmas is the most fantastic in the afternoon. Take it away. This is the record that comes out during our Christmases.
Are we still doing our Christmas off? Where you bring in 5, I bring in 5,
Yeah,
and we get the listeners to vote on who's got the most obscure Christmas selection.
This is going to be the first one that gets played. Hang on.
Let's all sing the Christmas.
This is the first one that's going to get played. Here we go.
Ding dong merrily on high. The Christmas bells are ringing, and I just see the spaceship in the
You won't be able to beat this.
No, mate, Clarence Carter, Backdoor Santa.
What?
Yeah, great Christmas song.
Oh, yeah.
I seen a spaceman singing. Let's all sing the Christmas medley.
Switch off your hi-fi, switch off your TV. one more, indulge me. Then we're going to... This is a very serious thing we're dealing with here. Oh, I miss Frank so much. There we go.
Hoy, 3 kings of an Orient. One in a taxi and one in a car. One on a scooter, beeping his horn.
I didn't know he wrote these.
You did? Anyway, so Justin.
Yes.
You've taken this joyous moment to the streets.
Yes, I have.
I'm sure you got a lot of positive feedback on this.
Yeah, well, the streets were mean and the streets were keen. I was out there talking to people about Christmas cards and whether if they were to receive a Christmas card now, would they be delighted or would they be sickened by that?
Sickened.
Yeah, we kind of get off to a weird start with a Doctor Who fan. Here's what happened. Morning, boss. You got a CD player there. What are you listening to?
Oh, just a big finished production of Doctor Who The Lost Stories called Thin Ice.
Let me ask you this. What's your name, by the way?
My name is James Hunt.
James Hunt. OK, James Hunt. James, if you received a Christmas card now, would you be delighted or would you be sickened?
Oh, I would be delighted, as a matter of fact.
OK, that's absolutely fine. Just lastly, who is your favourite Doctor of all time?
I'm going to say the late Patrick Troughton.
What about Dave?
Who's Dave?
David Tennant.
Oh, him. He's not one of my favourites.
Madam, I'm eyeing up your trolley. I've got to be honest with you. That is probably the best-looking trolley I have seen in Bedfordshire.
What a load of...
No, it's true. Look at it. It's got the style. Come on, you know it as well. Now, if you got a Christmas card today, if somebody sent you a Christmas card today, would you be delighted or would you be sickened?
I'd be delighted. I like having cards.
So you put it up straight away?
Why not?
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people are saying, oh, it's not Christmas yet. But you know what? There's nothing wrong with putting up a piece of happiness, is there?
No, not at all.
So, if you got a Christmas card today, would you be delighted or would you be sickened?
Damned annoyed.
Why?
It's not Christmas.
Yeah, I know, but what?
12 days of Christmas? Nobody's ever heard of that?
Yeah,
6 days before, 6 days
I know,
after?
but if I sent you a Christmas card now, it would stand out from the crowd. It would be special.
No, it won't.
Yes, it would.
It'd be damned annoying.
No, it wouldn't. It would be special.
I won't be putting them up till Christmas Eve.
Man to man, what is wrong with you?
I'm serious. Christmas starts in September. As soon as the kids go back to school, that's it. Christmas starts. No, sorry, it doesn't.
It's just an
What a misery.
Outrageous attitude. Yabu sucks, bar humbug.
Absolutely. You know, I pushed her all the way.
Poor old Tiny Tim, hobbling along. No turkey for him, sir.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah,
Shut up.
Yeah, well, Justin, they're cold on the streets of Dunstable.
They are, yes.
Speak to you later on. Cheers, my dear.
Take care, bye.
Baby, can't you see that I can't take it no?
If you have a complaint to the BBC, even if it's got nothing to do with the BBC, then why not give me a call?
3,
4
5
9
4,
double
5
5
Oh, start again.
3,
4
5
9
4,
double
5
5
double.
Oh,
Why is it always
again.
me and you?
Because we are
Made
meant to be
together.
We were made to be together, having it away
with each
every
other.
single day.
3
4
5,
9
4
double
5.
5
double.
5
Gareth did.
About 2 months ago, there was supposed to be a Spitfire fly past the Battle of Britain. And amazingly, 2 months later, it's still a Spitfire past the Battle of Britain. But
Literally no idea what that means. It's still
Have
flying.
you heard of the Battle of Britain, 1940? Big film with Laurence Olivier.
I think it was more than a film. I think it was an actual event, wasn't it?
Well, you might have thought so, but not the way they're treating it on the media.
Well, what do you mean the way they're not talking about it on the media?
They're talking about it, but only on the social media, not on the main line BBC.
Right. Well, what do you want us to say about it?
Well, I'd like you to say where to go to see them, because last time I went to Portsmouth and there were lots of people waiting about and nothing happened. And the radio said down there...
Hang on a minute. What do you... Hang on a minute, Gareth. Let's just calm down. You went to Portsmouth, why?
Because the BBC said go to Ryde Pier,
right?
But the British High Speed Rail can't get you there in 3 hours, which effectively means you can't see anything on the Isle of Wight on a day trip now.
So you went to Portsmouth for what reason?
To go to Ryde Pier to see the Spitfires, which is where the BBC said they were going to be.
Hang on a minute, you can't blame the BBC because
you can. They announced something, everyone runs around.
You can't blame the BBC for you going somewhere late.
Well...
Why didn't you look it up before?
Because in the past, you could get there in under 3 hours and have a day trip to the Isle of Wight.
Your beef is with British Rail or whatever they're called these days, not with us.
Well, if you hadn't said Ryde Pier, I'd have gone to Stokes Bay, where they were.
Well, why didn't you go to Stokes Bay? Listen,
because
Gareth...
the BBC said Ryde Pier.
OK, and the BBC is telling you to go and listen to Heart. Are you going to do that?
I've been known to. Cafes used to play Heart.
Gareth, you can't blame the fact that you missed something on the BBC. And we've mentioned the Battle of Britain in the 6 o'clock and the 7 o'clock bulletin.
But have you said where to go to see them? Or you said look on the website?
No, do you know what? Because it ain't my job.
Well, I was trying to talk to BBC South, but they don't have a phone number.
And is that... I bet they do.
Well, not in the...
What's BBC...
accessible.
What's BBC South?
The BBC in the South, Havelock House.
OK, I don't think it's... Is it called BBC South?
Well, it used to be.
Well, yeah, but it's... Gareth, listen, you've got beef with the BBC. I have no idea why. You've got the name of the place you're trying to find the phone number for wrong. You're phoning me up to have a go about something. I've got literally no idea what you're talking about. Why don't you, I don't know, use the internet or something?
Because I'm too old and too poor to have a computer. I've just spent under 30 quid on a car key. And that doesn't work either.
There's
11% of the people can't afford a computer,
right.
And you mess us around every day with on the website.
Why?
On the website.
How have I messed you around? Tell me what have I done, Gareth?
Not you personally.
Then
the
don't
BBC
say me.
generally.
Then don't say me. How does the BBC mess you? Oh, you're messing me around now. I'm going to come to.
Twice.
You're in
Reading. You to go somewhere.
You're in Reading.
Yes.
That's Berkshire.
Yes.
This is BBC Three Counties.
Won't answer the phone.
I wonder why. Are you a regular caller?
No.
Well, how did you get the number for us?
I rang Radio Solent and got you.
Well, I think people are having a laugh with you, Gareth. What would you like to know? I'll Google it.
Where to go to see the Spitfires today, as I missed them last time?
Where to go to see the Spitfires today? You haven't got a computer at all?
No.
You haven't got a library?
Well, it isn't open yet.
Well, why didn't you do it yesterday? You knew it was happening today. Why didn't you do it yesterday?
Because I thought they would say where to go.
Oh, God.
As they said where to go last time, if they got it wrong, at least they said something.
No, they didn't get it wrong. They didn't get it wrong last time. They got it right. You just didn't get there quick enough.
No, they wasn't there. Thousands disappointed because they weren't where they were supposed to be.
Well, that's not the BBC's fault. Maybe it was a weather condition that meant they flew somewhere else.
The weather was perfect. There's lots of other planes about.
Have you spoken to the organisers of that event to ask them?
I've spoken to a person who owns one of the Spitfires who didn't know what time it was flying.
Right, so if the pilot didn't know what time it was flying, how the heck is Tony Hall and his minions supposed to know?
Well, the BBC's supposed to know everything. They're to inform, isn't it? Entertain and inform.
Bless you. And an educator, I think, isn't it? Well, bless you for having so much faith in us, despite all of the scandals.
Have you got the information where to go? Does anyone know?
I'm just setting my team onto it now. Team, that's you, Catherine and Kelly.
Can I give you Radio Berkshire's number?
Well, that would help if I can find a pen.
Damn you, BBC!
Do you want me to send you a pen?
We've taken all of Gareth's pens.
No, I've got the pen now.
You've got the pen. Okay, I thought you'd called BBC Berkshire.
No, we thought he was ringing Solent. He got us.
I rang them and they weren't answering.
So you've called... Right, so you called Berkshire, they wouldn't answer.
Yeah, so I called Solent and someone got put through to you.
OK, geez, I feel we've certainly
Southern Counties then, it sounds like.
I've heard you sometimes, but you're on the same frequency as Surrey, and when you drive on the border, it goes back and forth.
And BBC's fault?
Well, I don't know.
Okay, we're not sure on that
I think
one.
it's your personal fault.
If they mark out
Right.
the boundaries of the broadcasting areas and rename the bits so you know really where you are.
You know, so it is our fault. You're right. Okay. Well, if I give you this information and it's incorrect, where does that leave us? Where does that leave you and me, Gareth?
Well, at least you tried. Someone the other day looked up the internet for a car dealer and the information was wrong, but at least he tried to look.
Okay, well, I'm trying to look.
But you think car dealers will put their right addresses on the internet, wouldn't you, if they're going to get customers?
You think they would, and it surprises me the number of car dealers that have the incorrect address. Right. Spitfires, Hurricanes and Blenheims, they're all aeroplanes, are they?
Yes, but there's only one Blenheim in, I think, in the whole world.
It says Blenheims here, so that's plural. Maybe they found another one.
Maybe.
Will take part in a historic flypast across the south of England today. So it's the south of England you need to head
today.
to.
Yes, yes.
Okay, well, it's the south of England, this is saying. Okay, so you okay with that?
Yes, fine.
So you're going to go to the south of England?
Well, that's rather too big to cover in one day in the train or by car.
Organised by the Boltby Flight Academy, there are 3 routes set to make their way over Surrey and North East Hampshire. The first section is due to roll out at 12 and will begin and end at Goodwood.
Goodwood, I know that, but that's pre-booked only, you see.
So you knew about that one?
I knew it was pre-booked only, so I was looking for somewhere nearby. You can see it, you know.
Well, you can see it nearby in Basingstoke. They're flying over Basingstoke.
Yeah, right. Well, thanks very much for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So soon after 12, then.
Yeah. I mean, and if it's the wrong information, you know, I've just Googled it. I can't.
Can I ask you?
I'll blame Google.
Listen, you don't have to be in Goodwood. You could stand, you know, where you can when you're allowed to go for free, can't you? And see planes in the sky.
I was plan A. If I'd had a better night's sleep, not worrying about it.
Why did you sleep so badly, mate?
Oh, it's the whole story. So ever since the previous not seeing it, I've been sleeping properly.
For the whole year?
No, only 2 months.
Okay, so for the last 2 months you've not been sleeping. Again, BBC's fault?
Not entirely, but if they just admitted it that they got it wrong,
then you'd sleep a lot better.
Wouldn't have minded.
If the BBC admitted that they got it wrong, would you sleep better?
Well, you can try.
Gareth, I am a spokesman for the BBC. We got it wrong, mate.
Yeah.
We should have given you that information earlier. You should have had more than 3 hours to get down there. On behalf of the BBC, I'm really sorry, and I hope you sleep well.
Well, thanks very much. You're much more helpful than a lot of people. So at least if I go somewhere and around Basingstoke, there's other things to see if it doesn't happen.
It's a lovely area,
and it's cheaper than going to Portsmouth or the Isle of Wight or anywhere else.
But make sure you leave. Make sure you leave early. Ta-ta.
Oh well, bye.
Across beds, hearts, and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7:30. I'm Simon Oxley. A report into the use of taxis and a flypast involving about 40 Spitfires and Hurricanes is set to take place to commemorate the 75th anniversary of the Battle of Britain. Prince Harry will join veterans to see the fleet of Battle of Britain aircraft take to the air. A service will be held at London St Paul's Cathedral at 11 o'clock. The aircraft will take off in groups from midday and fly over Goodwood before dispersing around the south of England. Some will return to Goodwood, while others will end up at Battle of Britain airfields, including Biggin Hill and Northolt.
Well done, Simon. Now, I know what you're thinking. Did he get there on time? Did he see it? If he didn't, whose fault was it? All the answers and a lot more coming up here.
I went to Basingstoke and I got there for 12 in spite of roadworks.
Oh.
And I stand around till 3:15 and nothing.
Oh.
And yet the television kept saying over Basingstoke.
Yeah.
And there were people with mobile phones, and they said, well, they're in Romsey and they're in Hursley, but there's only 2. The television said there were 4. They were in groups of 4.
Did you look up?
Well, of course I looked up. I had binoculars and everything.
Oh, okay.
And the weather was perfect. The radio said, 2:30, 2:40 or something.
Yeah.
And then the weather at that time was perfect, although there was rain either side. And the sort of clouds you want if you want to do a painting of clouds, you can do better. And there were 2 or 3 helicopters around, but no other planes at all, which is unusual.
Yeah.
And there was only 2 or 3 other people around.
I would have got to... now, if I'm waiting for an event, if there are only 2 or 3 other people, that's when I start to get a little bit angsty and think, maybe I should be elsewhere.
Well, the silliest thing of all, I live in Caversham, and, when it was too late to come home, they said, they're coming over Carrington Park. But I phoned Carrington Park. They actually said, well, they were actually quite a way away, but we wanted to big it up for the radio.
Oh.
And the people at Old Basing House said they were on top of the tower and saw something in the distance at the same time as they were at Carrington Park. But I can't see that, you could see the same planes at 23 miles or something.
So there were people all over your part of England looking at the sky and pointing at planes?
Yeah, well, the silly thing on the television last night, they said, we want to show the maximum number of people. Well, if they'd gone at 12 o'clock, the people in the service at St Paul's would still be inside. If they'd done it at 4 o'clock, the kids would be coming out of school. But if they'd done it on the weekend with other events on, they'd have got 10 times as many old people.
Are you disappointed?
Difficult to say. This whole month has been mess. And, it's bloody typical. There was an occasion where I would almost rather not go, so blame someone else for getting my way, you know what I mean?
Who do you blame more? Do you blame the BBC this time or Jeremy Corbyn?
Well, he wasn't singing the national anthem, but I don't think the planes went in the wrong direction because of him not singing.
Okay, so it's the BBC's fault this time?
Well, the BBC's fault for having too much Jeremy Corbyn and ignoring all the other things in the world, like Al-Aqsa Mosque and space flights and stuff,
Oh.
But you did your best.
We did our best, and I hope you appreciate that we tried, Gareth, and we weren't...
Radio Berkshire was slightly helpful, but to tell you, it was moved from 12 till 2, and then it was 2:30, and it was 2:40.
Who was more helpful? Okay, I'm going to give you three options here. Was it BBC South, BBC Berkshire, or BBC Three Counties Radio? Who was the most helpful?
You were the most helpful. Yes. But the BBC South still said they went over Basingstoke, and but you can't ring BBC South. They're not in the phone book.
It doesn't exist.
They're not in the back of the Radio Times.
It's because they don't want the truth.
Yeah, well, they don't, because it's not the first time. I think the Sky said they went in fours, which they didn't. And there definitely wasn't more than one Blenheim, whatever.
It's another BBC cover-up. We've had it happen before, and I thought we'd got to the end of this.
Well, talking of cover-ups, what happened to the mad cow disease? Everyone was supposed to die of mad cow disease, but are they covering it up, or was it a full scare?
Travel news for beds.
So basically, no, and it was ours. I think the new national anthem, or the Nat-Ant as I'm calling it, to save time, should be All You Need Is Love by the Beatles. You called in your thousands with your own ideas for a groovy national anthem. Thousands is a little bit of an exaggeration, Kelly, let's be honest. It was only 2 people, wasn't it? Should we play those 2 people?
Mm-hmm. What a pair.
Good morning, Iain.
Suggestions for a groovy national anthem?
Well, I don't have a ready-made suggestion at the minute, but national anthems are very important. It's a statement of intentions, it's values of
Okay,
of a nation.
what values and what statements of intent does God Save the Queen make?
God save the Queen has been an institution as far as I can remember, and my parents can remember. And
but what statement of intent does that song make, apart from pretty much taking over the world and being rude to Scotland?
Well, it depends on everybody's point of view. But
tell me your point of view.
My point of view is this: that it is unnecessary and should be replaced with something more modern and something more reflective of the nation that we are at the minute. And
how about this?
Jude, don't make it bad. Take a sad song and make it better.
And then you kind of miss out some of the verses, and then it just jumps to na 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 na, hey, do 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 now. Would you be up for that, Akbar?
Iain,
sing along, Akbar. Sing with me. Na 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 na, Akbar. Na 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 na. Sing along, Akbar. Come on, Justin. Na 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 na, Akbar. Here we go. All together now. Na 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 na
Hey, Governor.
Yes, boss.
I'm going to wee on your fire right now.
Go on,
Do you know
why's that?
why?
Why?
Because when it comes to the national anthem, you're meant to stand up, correct?
Yes,
yeah?
sir. Yes.
Now, when we went to go and watch Paul McCartney live,
Yes.
and he performed that song,
Yeah.
you refused to stand up, so it's not going to work, is it?
You're right, Justin. You've got me on a technicality,
Yeah.
Akbar. He's
Yeah.
got me on a technicality. And also, it would probably be inappropriate to the Queen to sing your name in it.
Yeah, and
Someone was
the other
complaining.
day you played a clip naming so many countries, and I think that is...
Oh, the Alphabet of Nations?
Yes, and that reflects very well the kind of Britain we have today.
Oh, Akbar wants the Alphabet of Nations as the theme tune. Do you know what? That might just work. It could be an excellent idea. Akbar, thank you. Peter?
Yes.
How about this? This is the thing that I thought you might like.
This thing right here is letting all the ladies know what guys talk about.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
The finer things in life.
Gonna make love in
Check
your
it out.
thong.
Ooh, that dress so scandalous, and you know I never couldn't handle it. So you're shaking that thing like who's the ish with a look in your eyes so devilish.
Do you think this would work, Peter?
No, I
Thong
think
song?
Sunday morning coming down would be much better.
Do you like thong song?
Sunday morning coming down would be much better.
Na 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 na
Na na na na. Na 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 na. Akbar. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Akbar.
Akbar, daddy, con. Na. No, Johnny.
Daddy what?
Daddy, con.
Because that is his name.
That's his
His name
name.
is Akbar Dead Khan.
I know it's not me being rude. I'm just
No, I
saying
know.
it.
It's a great
It's
song.
just, I transpose it from Judy to that. On the show this week, we spoke about old drivers. That's drivers who are old. That's you if you are old. You all right, Kath? Don't cry. Bucks County Council wants drivers over 65 to take a mature driver scheme course. Oh, I'd like a mature driver. Ooh. If you're over 65, you might have to go on a course, love. But you can do it after cash in the attic, all right? All right? Cup of tea? Last cup of tea? You want a slice of cake? Go on, slice of cake. Go on, slice of cake. Don't matter. Slice of cake. Cup of tea? Slice of cake? No, love. No. He died 10 years ago, I know. Didn't it fly by? Mario called in with some great points. Pardon?
Yeah, just, well, I'd like to say, you know, I passed this command once before. Yeah. I'm fed up, you know, having go at the old drivers all the time. I'm giving you an example. The past 2 months, I had the 2 incidents where, well, not incident, where at the end of... out this way, when you're going into town, at the roundabout there, the taxi driver come shoot straight out from the Bury Park.
He shot straight out, yes.
Yeah,
we got
there's
that,
a
yes.
white line there at the roundabout.
Okay.
Let the traffic on your right-hand side to go through. And yesterday, I had another young driver. He shot straight out, and he blocked the road. Nobody could go through. I wanted to go down towards the station.
Yes.
Nobody could get through. And he had a look at me, and he had a go at me, so swearing at me about it.
Right.
And there was a young driver. I'm not a young driver.
No.
I'm coming up to 82.
Right.
I'm
Too old.
nothing wrong with my driving.
Too old.
And I know my code, my
Too
driving code, and what you're supposed to do
Too old.
when you are on the road.
Too old.
So, you know, it's not everybody.
How's your hearing?
Pardon? I am coming up to 82.
How's your hearing?
How old he was? No, he was a young chap, you know. He coming along from Bury Park, you know, and straight on to the roundabout.
How's your hearing?
My hearing? Sorry, I can't understand what you're saying.
How's your hearing? Your hearing, how is it?
My hearing, you know, is pretty good. And I don't wear any glasses.
You don't wear glasses for hearing, Mario.
My hearing is okay.
Yep. You can hear well. Brilliant.
The line is not very clear unless it's my
Do
phone.
you not think, Mario, I'm going to try and speak loudly and clearly, OK? I hope you don't think I'm patronising. Do you not think at the age of 82 that perhaps you're just a little bit too old? Your reaction, when you were a young Mario in Italy...
Yeah.
And what age did you leave Italy?
When I was... at 20.
OK, so you're a young 19-year-old Mario cruising the streets of Rome, being all looking at sexy ladies that are all over there, and you're allowed to do that in that country. You get arrested if you don't do it.
Yeah, but I still know my driving code, what are the rules and regulation of it. What that lady was saying, her father is going through red lights, going around on the road on the other side of the island.
You have to admit, Mario, that your reaction skills, your hearing, your sight is not as good as when you were cruising the streets of Rome at the age of 19.
No, but at least I know my rules and regulation of the road.
Mario?
Yeah?
Say hello to Dave.
Hello, Mario.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
All right, Mario?
Yes, hello. Good morning to you.
I can hear you well and truthfully, mate, and I think you are a good
It's my telephone. My telephone is playing up a little bit, It's the line is not very clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're a good driver, Mario.
Yes, I am.
I can hear from your voice.
Yeah.
If there's stuff from Friday, you'll hear it here. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning.
We are asking to celebrate the fact that John Boucher is, Catherine?
He is the new Chief Constable of Bedfordshire.
What's your favourite arrest manoeuvre? What have you got for us?
Someone's cuffed on the floor, refusing to stand up, plumb into the pressure point on the back of the ear and lift.
Are you a copper?
No.
Oh, you was...
He's just a student of copperisms.
Have you ever done that on someone?
I have. I was in the security industry for almost 20 years.
Oh, mate. Now, you're being very vague. That makes me think you're SAS.
No. I was a security officer for government buildings as well as across the board on retail and other areas within
So
the
you're either
industry.
a spook or a store detective, either of which deserve ultimate respect. Now, when I used to work in shops many years ago, and I'll end up there again one day. I'll make no bones about that. The store detectives were for most of their time, right? They had nothing to do, but so they would just pretend that they were like Starsky and Hutch or something, and they would just walk around and pretend they were top American detectives. You ever done that, Mark?
No, I've never done that. I'm professional. I don't muck around like that.
No, you take it when you're about to apply a thumb to the pressure point behind the ear. You take it very seriously.
Other things, yeah.
Mark, thank you very much indeed. We're asking this morning your favourite arrest positions. Now, those people that say that PlayStations are bad for your
self,
they're wrong. Listen to this brilliant story of how PlayStation turned a young man's life around. Boy racer, I learned to drive on my PlayStation. Isn't that brilliant? A man...
Hang on, but he's a boy racer.
Yeah, and he learnt to drive...
Fast.
Yeah, on his... He learnt to drive on his PlayStation, which has to be applauded. A man who led police on a 100 miles per hour car chase had learnt to drive on his PlayStation. That's marvellous. Adam Jones, 24... has been jailed, unfortunate, after taking a car belonging to his girlfriend who reported him. Grass. Police spotted Jones on the A1 where he was... struggling to drive in a straight line.
Oh, dear.
Now, it is tricky.
Was he going round turtles? Or mushrooms?
They gave chase... Fair play, he was clocked doing 100 miles per hour before leaving the dual carriageway and driving into Leslie Grantham.
What?
Oh, no, sorry, and driving into Grantham, Lincolnshire, where he raced through the streets on a busy Friday night.
All that from PlayStation?
His driving was so dangerous, traffic police were told to abandon the chase for their own safety. But Jones was eventually caught when he drove into a Stinger device. Now, here's the thing. Let's find out how many people he injured. Let's find out how many car windows he smashed and then dragged the drivers out and then jumped into. It's a Grand Theft Auto reference, guys. Jones from Skegness told stunned officers He'd never taken a test or even had a lesson, but learnt his skills on a PlayStation. Lincoln Crown Court heard the repair bill for his girlfriend's car was £2,000. He also damaged the parked Audi in a police car. Jones had been below the drink drive limit. No, he didn't hurt anybody. So, I mean, I don't...
No harm done then,
no,
eh?
Well, minimal harm done. Now, listen, I'm not condoning the stealing of cars, unless, of course, you're playing Grand Theft Auto. Well, then you get points for that. But he learnt how to drive on a PlayStation. Oh, 03459 455 555. Marlene!
Hi, Ian.
How are your eyes? Still wonky?
Yes. Afraid so.
Don't never be afraid of a wonky eye, unless it's unless it's on someone else's face. In that case, be terrified.
It's part of me.
It's part of you. What have you got for us, Marlene? Did you learn to drive on a PlayStation? Probably a GameCube.
No, I'm ringing about being arrested.
Oh yeah, go on. Your favourite arrest manoeuvre?
I was arrested at Luton Magistrates Court.
At the court?
Yes.
What the hell for?
Well, I was an usher at Luton Magistrates Court.
Yeah. And they were so terrified of your wonky eyes, they arrest her! She's a witch! No.
No, I was in, I don't know if the layout's still the same.
Yeah.
I was in Court 7 as an usher.
Yeah.
And I was actually leaving that day.
Yeah.
And we'd gone through the list, and the court clerk said to the magistrate, sorry, we have one more matter.
Yeah.
And I'm standing there shaking my head, and he said, Marlene, step forward.
Uh-oh.
And I said, what? He said, step forward.
Oh, gosh.
So he said, you are hereby charged with leaving the employment of the magistrate's court without lawful reason.
Oh, God, Marlene. You can get 25 years for that.
How do you plead?
Yeah.
And with that, two of the security guards from down the cells came in.
Whipped off their kit. Oh.
With a handcuff.
Kinky.
And it was right in the far corner, away from the cells. And I went, handcuffs? Guilty. So they put me in the handcuffs.
Yeah.
They walked me through the public area.
Yeah.
Took me down to the cells.
Oh.
And then do you know what they did?
Gave you a good seeing to.
No, it wasn't my birthday.
What did they do, Molly?
They banged me up in a cell.
So they banged you up in the cell. And how long did they bang you up for?
About 10 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Marlene. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this free download from BBC Three Counties Radio, your local radio station for beds, hearts and bucks, on FM, AM, digital radio, and online at bbc.co.uk/3counties.